Hey, beautiful people, how are you? I hope everybody is doing well. Y'all, it's so late. It's like 1 a.m. Okay. And I decided I'm gonna go ahead and film the Midyear Book Freakout Tag. Even though I'm like months and months late, I did have a subscriber also say that she was interested in seeing it. So I'm doing this video for you. Thank you for even being interested in hearing me ramble about books, and let's just get into it. So, the first question is best book you've read so far in 2024. And I have all the books like spread out around here. So the best book that I've read so far, and keep in mind, y'all, like I have read, I think somewhere between 13 and 15 books. I should have looked before I started the video, but somewhere between 13 and 15 books I've read this year. So I'm not answering these questions with a lot of books having read this year. I said in the other video, you know, that like this just has not been my reading year. So keep that in mind. But out of what I've read, right, I think the best book I've read this year is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. First of all, how y'all not gonna tell me that Kennedy Ryan is writing fire like this? Her writing is so good. So this book follows Josiah and Yasmin, and they were married. And if I remember correctly, yes, so they've been divorced for 2 years, right? And so we follow them as they're like co-parenting, but you can clearly see there's something still there. So they're trying to figure out co-parenting and what's happening with them, if anything is happening with them. Also, not to mention, like Josiah and Yasmin own a restaurant together. I think it's called Grits. They own a restaurant together called Grits, right? So they're also business partners. So they're spending a lot of time with each other for lots of different reasons. And what I loved about this book was, first of all, I listened to this book on audio, okay? Highly recommend the audiobook. And when I tell y'all, I felt like I was like watching a movie, like I could vividly see every scene. And the other thing is, normally when I listen to audiobooks and I'm doing other stuff. I didn't do anything else the entire time I listened to this audiobook. Actually, I put a lot of stuff on hold and I was like, nope, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I was just sitting, listening to this audiobook because I could see the scenes. It was so vivid. Did I say they have 2 kids? They got 2 kids, okay? So there is a lot going on. And this book is just, it's a ride. It's a ride from beginning to end. It's a ride that I'm glad to go on. But when I tell you, like, there were certain parts where I was like holding my breath. There were certain parts where I was like, oh my God, I don't even know if I should be here for this scene. I'm looking at you, hotel scene, you know, but read it, read it, read it. If you don't take anything else from this video, read this. All right. And then to keep going on the Kennedy Ryan train, the next question, number 2, is best sequel. Well, honestly, I technically have 2 answers for this though. But if I only had to pick one, it would be the next book in, what is the name of this? I'm going to put on the screen if I can remember. So there is a specific name for this series, and there should be another book coming soon. But This Could Be Us. And this book follows, so in Before I Let Go, we're introduced to Yasmin's best friends. And one of her best friends is Soledad. So this book follows Soledad, okay? And I just love being back in this world, being back in this environment. So that was already a hit for me. I was like, okay, yeah. But then getting to know Soledad more, seeing her navigate motherhood and everything going on with her marriage, and like there was just so much happening. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil you, but this book definitely lived up to my expectations. Like I didn't read one of these and go, oh, this was so amazing, this was a letdown. Like if anything, I was like, this was fire and this was fire. Is there another one? Like it was just, I was hooked. Now I will say, unlike the first book, this book I actually mainly read, and then eventually I got my hands on the audiobook. So I listened to a little bit of it on audio, but for the most part, I actually read this book. So, because my partner had bought it for me, which I really appreciated. So I was like, oh my gosh. And that's because, y'all, I talked his ear off about Before I Let Go. Like I was talking to him about this like I was watching a movie. So yeah, I'm sure I gave him more details than he needed to know. But the point was I needed to discuss with somebody. So yeah, this is a book that I probably should have done like a book review / book discussion on. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know, y'all. I just be getting in my head and then I get nervous about doing videos and I don't know. So, but yeah, I would try to be better. But yeah, definitely best books I've read. So anyway, number 3, new release you haven't read yet, but you want to. I could not come up with an answer for this, y'all, because I have been out the loop. I've been out the game. Like, I don't even know what has come out this year. I'm not even going to hold you. So if you have been keeping up with the new releases and you're like, but Bridge, you need to read this, put it down below. Let me know, or let me know what new release you're excited about, because I'm probably going to look it up on Goodreads and see if it's something I would be excited about. So give me some recommendations down below. Let me know what you're looking forward to. But I don't have an answer for that one, if I'm honest. And for most anticipated release for the second half of the year, I can answer this one actually. And that's because the only new release that I know that's coming out this year is the second book in the Davenport series. So this year I read The Davenports by Crystal, I'm blanking. It'll be on the screen, y'all, right here. I read this book, okay? And I absolutely loved it. So this book is following an affluent Black family, and they, I don't remember, but I know we're following an affluent Black family, okay? And so you're seeing all the different kids, right? And it's at a time when it's like women don't work, and, you know, women don't do this and women don't do this. And then Black women especially don't do these things, right? And so seeing the sisters in the story, and I love this story because, one, I like seeing historical fiction, but then I also really enjoy seeing sibling dynamics. And you definitely get to see sibling dynamics, and then you get to see romantic dynamics, okay? Because people are having some romance happen, okay? The brother has a romance going on. Both of the sisters, it was just, I was like, what is going on? And to be honest with you, that might be a book that we need to discuss, y'all, because I need to get my notes out about that book, but that might be a book we need to discuss because I have thoughts, feelings, concerns, and I need somebody to talk to about it. So yeah, let me know if you've read The Davenports. If you have read it, let me know, or let me know if it's even on your radar and you're like, yeah, I want to read that. So let me know. But I think I'm going to do another video on that. So that's that one. And then the next question is biggest disappointment. So, okay, I don't even think I brought it over here. Oh, yes, I did. I haven't finished this book, okay? But the way it's going for me right now, okay, I'm going to put this as a possible disappointment. I'm not going to call it my biggest disappointment because I haven't finished it, and I don't like to rate books that I have not finished reading, okay? That's just me personally. So I'm going to put this as a possible disappointment. I pray it does not disappoint me. I feel like I have been trying to read this book for like a year, and I just could not get into it. The book is finally picking up, and I'm like, okay, I'm into it now, and I'm on page 158. So I feel like that's, what chapter is this? Let me see. Okay, so I'm basically at the end of chapter 18, and now I'm like, okay, right? And I think part of it is because like this book has a very intense magic system, and I love high fantasy. I don't mind some world building and this and that, but I just felt like there was so much info dumping and there were so many different terms and what this meant. And so it was hard to follow the dialogue because I'm like, wait, what does that mean again? Who is this? What? Like, it was just a lot. So yeah, so this might be a possible disappointment. I'm really hoping it does not let me down because, y'all, sneak peek, I already got the next book, okay? This is how serious I was about Legendborn, so please don't let me down. But I'll come back and let y'all know. Let me know if you have read this book and if you loved it. Don't spoil me, please don't spoil me, but let me know if you loved it, if you didn't like it, or if you were just like, you know. Let me know. Or let me know if you're like, yeah, wish I had my time back. Just, yeah, thoughts, feelings, concerns on this. Biggest surprise. For me, the biggest surprise, again, I'm going to have to put it on the screen because I read it as a book from my library, was The Lonely Hearts Book Club by Lucy Gilmore. So I am very attracted, a trope that I'm very attracted to in literature is books about books, or books about book clubs, or anything like that. Books about reading, anything like that. I'm like, I need to read it. I don't know what it is, but I am just very attracted to that, okay? And so this was a book about a librarian, and I'm skipping on her name, but it's a book about a librarian, and she ends up developing like this book club with these characters, okay? And all of them kind of have like lonely lives, to be honest with you. Like I'm pretty sure one of the main characters, his name was Arthur. I hope I'm getting his name right. And he's like this grouchy old man. He's one of those people that you're like, oh, here he comes. You know what I mean? Like he's bad vibes. He really is. He's just, everything about him is. And then there's this lady who lives in his building, and she's just, I would say you could tell that she's like craving attention and being around people. She's having a very tumultuous relationship with her teenage daughter. It seems like she hates her, you know, and she's just going through it, okay? And so, and then our main character is also just at a place in life where like she's not necessarily happy in life, and she's kind of closed down, and you know, so they start reading books, and through reading books together and connecting, right, they start getting to know each other and talking. A lot of arguing happens in this book, okay? It was just good, but I did not see it. Like at a certain point I was like, I'm in too deep to turn back. I have to know what happens to these characters. And I'm glad I stuck it out, because I absolutely ended up loving it. And I love the idea of like redemption, right? And that sometimes we can close ourselves off for different reasons. We all have pasts and histories and traumas and different things like that, right? But sometimes if somebody believes in you enough, if they show enough interest, enough love, enough patience, right, it can really change your outlook and make you want to be a better person. Loved it. Loved it. So that was my biggest surprise. Favorite new author? Kennedy Ryan. I want to read everything this lady has ever written. You know what's crazy? There is a booktuber, and I'm just skipping on everybody's name. Y'all, I'm not a night person, okay? So basically I'm asleep right now. So forgive me for forgetting everything in this video. But there is a booktuber. I am going to put her name on the screen. I absolutely love her channel. And I do feel like actually she had talked about Kennedy Ryan, and she was like gushing about a Kennedy Ryan book. And I didn't put two and two together actually when I read this first book. And she was talking about how great it was. And I think I even commented and was like, sis, yeah, that sounds good. Like I need to check her out. So yeah, I've heard a couple people gush about her, but I didn't even put two and two together that was the author I was finally reading. Like yeah, I don't know. I just saw the synopsis of this book and was interested in it. But definitely my favorite new author. I will definitely be reading much more from her and be looking out for new things as she puts them out now, for sure. Newest fictional crush. So y'all, if I had had a booktube channel like when I was growing up, y'all, I would have had constant book crushes, okay? I do have a couple, okay, if I'm honest, but I don't really get book crushes that often. But if I just had to pick a book crush out of what I've read this year, it's gonna be Josiah from the first book, Before I Let Go. First of all, he was described so well. Like when I tell you I saw this black man, I saw him and I was like, okay, so he's cute. And then I just liked his personality. Like he was kind of like, I don't even know how to describe him. I don't know, like he was manly but soft, and I just dig that vibe. So I was like, okay, you know, then he was a good father. He was involved. Yes, stand up, do that. Yeah. So if I had to pick a bookish boyfriend or like a newest fictional crush, I would pick him. Newest favorite character. Okay, I have lots of things to say, so just bear with me here, okay? Remember when I said I was going to read all of Jane Austen's novels this year and it was going to be a whole project? Well, that's on hold until next year. If you saw that video, okay, I'll link it down below. But I did an intro. That's on hold. I've actually only read 2 of the novels, okay? But the other novel that I read, so I told you I read Pride and Prejudice, and then I read Persuasion, and our main character in there is Anne Elliot. And this is gonna sound so crazy, but I didn't want to like Anne, and I think the reason why is because she reminds me of myself. That probably says some things about me. She reminds me of myself, okay? She does not fully remind me of myself. I don't think like everything about Anne Elliot is like everything about me, but there are definitely aspects to her, like wanting to be a people's pleaser and wanting to keep the peace and different things like that, right? Like I'm a recovering people's pleaser, so, but wanting to keep the peace and just she's a softer character. I feel like a lot of time with Jane Austen's main characters, they're very strong, headstrong, rebellious type characters, right? And Anne Elliot is really the opposite of that. I think that there is strength in her. I'm not saying she's a weak character. There's strength in her, but she's a little bit softer. She's a little bit more subdued. She doesn't always speak her mind and different things like that. And I came to really enjoy this character, root for this character, and just want to see her happy. So that would be my newest favorite character. A book that made me cry. Another book I'm going to have to pop on the screen right here, but I'll tell you the name of it. It's Frizzy by Claribel A. Ortega. I've never read anything by this author. This book is a graphic novel, and I was just browsing on Libby, saw it, picked it up. And when I tell you, y'all, I'm going to put in, so I'm going to take it down really quick so I can put in I saved a couple screenshots from the book. There was one point. So this book is following this young girl. I think she's a teenager, early teenager from what I can remember. And she doesn't know how to take care of her natural hair. She has naturally curly hair, but she doesn't know how to take care of her naturally curly hair. Nobody in her family, for the most part, wears their hair naturally curly. Her mom used to, and then her mom stopped wearing her hair naturally curly. And it's like a ritual in her household that every Sunday they go, they get their hair done. She sits, she gets her hair pressed. And then, you know, she's young. So then when she messes her hair up, you know, her mom gets upset, and it's just a whole to-do. And so she takes it upon herself that she's going to learn how to do her curly hair, because she's like, why can't I just wear my hair as it naturally is? Y'all, this story made me tear up, okay? I have naturally curly hair. I've showed it on the channel a million one time. You know what I mean? And this story touched me so deeply because I could relate to so much of it. Book that made you happy. Book that made me happy. I would give that to, what did I say? Oh, Ways to Grow Love by Renee Watson. So Renee Watson has a series called the Ryan Hart series. And we're following Ryan Hart. I think she's like 8, maybe she's 10. So she's a little girl, okay? And we're like following her. In the first book, we're introduced to Ryan and her family. And in the second book, Ryan finds out that so Ryan already has a big brother, okay? So it's her big brother and it's her. In the second book, Ways to Grow Love, Ryan finds out that her mom is pregnant and she's going to have a sibling, another sibling. And right, like she's trying to navigate like understanding that and being like, okay, so there's going to be another sibling. Like, what does that mean for me? What's my role? Just all the things, right, that a child would naturally go through. And I just love this series so much. I just love this little girl so much. Like, I feel like this little girl could be my kid. She could be my niece. Like, I just love her so much. I love reading from her perspective. Just love her. Most beautiful book you've bought or received this year? I don't know. I mean, honestly, the only book that comes to mind, I know y'all so sick of me talking about Kennedy Ryan, but as a black girl, this black girl on the cover, just with her natural hair just out, I died. So beautiful. This book is beautiful. And this book is beautiful too. So in terms of books that I've bought, well, you know, like I said, my partner bought these for me, but that would be that. I haven't bought much this year. I honestly have been using my library like crazy for everything. So that would probably be that. And then what book do you need to read by the end of the year? Y'all, so many. You see this stack behind me right here? All of these. This could be its own video. I previously talked about the fact that I'm currently reading this book, Single on Purpose by John Kim. I need to finish that. I got this book from the library. This is Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Plez. I might be saying that wrong. I want to read this book, which I probably need to see if I can extend it because I think this book is going to be due soon. But I need to read this book. I would like to check out Honey and Spice by Babalu. I messed that up. Oh, I messed that up. But yeah, this book, I want to finish reading 8 Steps to Conquer Chronic Pain by Dr. Andrea Furlan. And then y'all, just all of these right here. Like I said, this could be its own video. So lots of things that I would like to finish up, but I'm going to stop talking now because I've been talking for a long time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being interested in this. I will do my best to do it earlier next year. And I will see y'all in another video very soon. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I never say that in my videos. I always forget because I'm just so into the video. And I never say that, but it really does help me out a lot. So if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you're reading, what you're enjoying. And I will see you all in another video very soon.